Kamran Matin is an associate professor of international relations at the University of Sussex in the United Kingdom. Welcome, Kamran. Let's start talking about Derfan Soltani, this 26-year-old protester who's reportedly due to be executed. What can you tell us about his case?
Good evening, Nicole, and thanks for having me on your show. Well, this young person is from the city of Karaj, around 40 kilometers or so from Tehran. He was apparently arrested at home, taken out from his home by unidentified, government officials. There are multiple parallel security and intelligence organizations in Iran. They often do not necessarily identify themselves when they go to arrest people. He has been out of touch with his family, and he hasn't had access to a lawyer. The family were informed apparently a few days after arrest, and they have been able to see him only for 10 minutes. And they already have told the family that he's been sentenced to death on charges of fighting God, muharabe, as it's called in Persian, Arabic word coming from Sharia law. And it's the charge which always carries a death penalty in Iranian legal system. In recent days, prosecutor of the city of Tehran has announced that the government has appointed what they described as courageous and experienced judges to go through the cases of people arrested in the demonstrations quickly and with what they call revolutionary determination. So that sounds, summary trials and, kind of a lot of death sentences being issued in coming days.
It continues to be very difficult to cross-check information coming out of Iran. The nonprofit United Against Nuclear Iran says as many as 12,000 people may have been killed. What do you make of the different death tolls going around today?
The footages which coming out of Iran, in addition to testimonials by people who have been able to leave Iran, mostly to Turkey, because many airlines have canceled their flights to Iran. And also the fact that today, for the first time, people have been able to, some people at least, to call out of Iran, although calls into Iran are still cut. Nobody can call into Iran. Plus footages from sources which have proved reliable in the past shows that the scale of killing is massive, especially on the nights of the 8th and 9th of January. In a relatively small town of Rash, for example, 200 persons have been killed in Tehran. Even officials have told multiple news agencies that around 1,200 have been killed. And given that the protests were across Iran in more than 100 cities, it's just a simple math that it shows the number of deaths are likely to be in thousands, not hundreds. Today, Yvette Cooper, the Foreign Minister of Britain, also announced that she's fearing that the numbers of deaths is much more than the 2,000, which so far been confirmed by many sources.
The regime says there haven't been any protests on Tuesday. Can we trust that statement, in your opinion?
I mean, given, how many thousands of people have been killed in the last few days, it's not impossible that people no longer dare to go out. But given the internet blackout and difficulty in contacting people in Iran, it's difficult to verify the state claim. But as you can imagine, unarmed protesters versus machine guns, it's not difficult to imagine that people may, be much more cautious, at least at this point. And also in terms of promises by President Trump that help is on the way, that in itself might, at least at this point, make people to stay and see what happens. But once potential attacks are are conducted, then it's also likely that people go out in large numbers to probably take over institutions which have been damaged by the potential bombing of the US.
Kamran Matin of the University of Sussex, thanks so much.
Thank you.